Camera's rolling.
Baby, I'm too young to know any better, but I guess I'm just too old to care. I'm waiting on the morning light to clear the air. Now the sky is hung with regret, letting go that you may black. All the silence that keep me coming back. I'm the one that you hated. You know, the one you didn't want to believe. The one that you hated. Take a look at it now. I'm the mess you created. The one that you hated. Mother Baker said, bury your secret. And your gold and souls are black. You get to love with all your footsteps running back. Now the sky is hung with regret, letting go that you may black. All the silence that keep me coming back. I'm the one that you hated. You know, the one you didn't want to believe. The one that you hated. Take a look at it now. I'm the mess you.
How about now? Really? Really? You guys didn't hear any of that? Hold on. Watch this. Good morning. Welcome back to Dad Talk Today. It's crazy. Man, it's like I can't get through a show without a technical difficulty. You can hear me now, right? Okay, cool. Welcome back to Dad Talk. Yeah, I was saying, we made it to Wednesday. I hope you had a good Taco Tuesday. Really quick before we get started in the show, many ways you can support us down there at the bottom. Dad Talk Today, no spaces. That's Cash App, Venmo, and Patreon. We got subscriptions and memberships over there on YouTube. Got the same thing on Facebook. Make sure to go to the shop, get your Dad Talk Today gear. Guys, I've been putting out a lot of articles, and I want you to pay attention to those. For those that hasn't signed up on the Substack, I'm going to go through that again. And then pretty much today, all I'm going to do is listen to your voicemails. You got something you want to talk about, throw it down there in the comments. If we got time, we will go over it. It's not going to be as long of a show today. I got doctor's appointment to go to. But other than that, guys, last night I got sent an article, and it was talking about how fathers are committing murder in these family law cases way higher than moms, and it's due to the conflict that's going on in family court. Well, let me tell you something there, guys. I watched the headlines. I know what's going on, and I was like, this is absolute BS. And people that I once respected, okay, and it seems like it started going in the other direction because they're trying to keep their female base. Maternal filicide is crazy right now. In the United States, there is an average of 500 cases per year where moms are committing murder, suicide, killing the kids. It's really bad, really, really bad. But as I'm sitting there reading this article, I'm like, are you kidding me? Because I would say in the majority of these cases that I'm seeing, it's when a dad wins custody, and then that's the response to it. If I can't have them, you can't either, right? But that's not going to be looked at as a family law case because they already had the custody, right? So how do these statistics get reported? It's kind of what I'm wanting to know. It gets very skewed. So you got to be really careful with that. And I know how the narrative goes already. So we're going to have to push back. Okay. I want to push back with the facts. So I made this article this morning. You can get over there on Substack. And I got many other different conversations, how working out can lower men's depression. Video games can actually have benefits for men. Read the whole thing. It goes through it all. Okay. Got my little thing out there on Elvis. Mothers murdering their children is a topic that needs to be addressed. I want you to look at this. If you put that in the search, there will be no shortage of these cases coming out, guys. No shortage. And it's becoming increasingly common. So while I'm sitting there reading this media, this is the problem when it comes to fathers and fathers' rights and what's going on in family court, is they constantly try to give the other side. Guys, really quick before I get back into that conversation, this is it. I got lots of articles. I've been trying to put out at least 3. These are all free as of right now. Go over there to the Substack. It's dadtalktoday.substack.com. For those of you that have a yearly membership, there's going to be lots of benefits coming out. We will have our first online monthly chat tomorrow, where it's just not going to be broadcast. We're going to host a safe space for men to come in here and talk to each other. Okay. You guys are saying there's no audio again. Seriously? You guys can hear me, right? Don't tell me it's doing it again. All right. Anyway, we're going to be doing that. We're going to be a monthly chat. Everybody can join, and it's just going to be a safe place to vent. All right. But getting back on that subject again, I see this because I'm looking for it. But if most people aren't looking, they're not going to see it. So when you have this media that comes out demonizing these fathers, when they're not even reporting how the statistics are found and how the research is skewed, it's very dangerous, man. Very, very dangerous. I want to start pushing back because that's what we're going to have to do, man. It really is. That's what we're going to have to do. So let me put that article on here. Sorry, guys. I hate that that's going on. I don't have the heart to start it over again. I'm in a little bit of a rush for time. I've been thinking about cutting these down to once or twice a week, so I can put my focus on some of these other things that I've got to. But every time I tell myself I'm going to take a break from it, I come right back. Because you never know who out there might be needing this, right? But right down there, dude, dadtalktoday.substack.com. If you get signed up for the yearly membership today, you will be invited to that Zoom chat tomorrow to join all of us. And then there's like 5 different media projects in the works, and there's 5 different media projects in the works and 5 different ones that are coming up, guys, where you're going to have access to these films, putting a lot of hard work into them. And I'm planning on getting some different conversations going. Also, we talked about it yesterday. I still got to get with Jimmy. I want to do a challenge for the community. Little things that we see if we can do together. A 90-day fitness challenge where we eat right, we work out, and we see what that does for our head up here. Men are suffering from depression unlike the world has ever seen. The problem with men's depression is men are very quick to isolate and not let anybody know what's going on. Look at Robin Williams, one of the funniest men on the face of this earth, always had that big smile. What was going on behind closed doors and what was going on up here? And it's got to be even harder for a guy like that because he's famous. People are going to want to talk to him anyway, right? It's just what they're going to do. So you don't know who's your friend and who's not. You don't know who's your friend and who's not. You don't know what's safe and what isn't safe. It's got to be a hard one to take, man. So let's foster these conversations and get in there and do it together. And I do believe the fitness, man, it is one of the steps. I can tell you just in the past couple of months, it has done amazing for me. All right. I said I was going to jump into these voicemails. I got several voicemails I want to roll out. If you want to put your comments down there, do me a favor. If you're watching it, like, share, subscribe, ding the bell, especially share now that I did like the first 2 minutes of the video with no audio. Thank you guys for letting me know. I would have just kept going. Yesterday when I started, YouTube got cut off immediately. I don't know what's going on, but it happens. It's live. That's the thing that sucks about a live sometimes, is it's very unforgiving. But I love it because it's raw, it's real, and what you see is what you get, man. All right, let me get to these voicemails. 762-441-0281. Here's the first one of the day.
Hey, how you doing, Eric? This is Nikki's dad calling from Phoenixville, Pennsylvania. I'm out here on my break at work. I just want to call and say I know you've been going through a hard time right now. I want to let you know that we love you, and please don't let anybody define who you are. That goes to you and to all my other warrior dads out there. Hope you're having a great day. Enjoy the day. Talk to you soon. Bye.
Hey, Nikki's dad. Thanks, man. Yeah, dude. Past couple of days, it's crazy. It's crazy. You know, not going to go into it. There was a little bit of relief of saying, guys, here is my skin in the game. Okay. Here's my skin in the game. This is what I'm going through. And because I've never really told my story out in the open, I guess people thought I was just a guy that talks about this or makes it as a gimmick. Well, now you know. I not hit you. It was accident. I hit you, but I didn't really do it. And what you do to me is worse anyway. You know, I had Amber Heard before Amber Heard and Johnny Depp was a thing. I didn't have Amber Heard. You know what I mean? I knew what that situation was like. Like I said, though, it was a little bit of relief sitting there. First thing I get that morning is, this is a note that I wrote when I was 8.5 months pregnant, begging Eric to come and see his daughter. The whole note is saying, you are not going to see her born, and I'm keeping her from you until she's 2. And so what would happen is these things would go. Tell me if you guys can relate to this. I would get these accusations or these different notes and stuff, and when I would read them, I didn't have a dad talk to tell me what was going on. I didn't have a men's rights or a support group to say, hey, are you guys going through this too? I felt like I was alone, and when it came, I'd respond. And it's the response that would be used to shape the narrative against me without people seeing the bull crap ahead of time, right? And somebody like that, I mean, I think 30 pages, 90% of the letter, all about a relationship that I was gone from. My child was used to talk about a relationship. It was never about my child. And it sucked. It sucked to have to relive some of that. But now I did. And that's it, dude. So I appreciate that caller, man. And knowing that you guys understand, it's not easy. Being a voice behind this, people are looking to discredit us any way they can, because the message of father's rights, men's rights, shared parenting, it's a very big business, and they don't like voices like us existing. You understand? They just don't like us existing. And that goes for numerous people. You can't let that stop you. And for anybody that's wanting to get involved in advocacy work, there's your transparency. It ain't going to be easy. I'm not telling you it's easy. It's probably going to be one of the hardest things you're ever going to do in your life, but it's a fight that's worth it. You understand? It is a fight that's worth it. So let's go in there. Thank you for the encouragement. We try to give the encouragement to you guys. It's good to be here amongst other dads and know that we understand what each other is going through. Let me get to this next voicemail, 762-441-0281.
Hi, Eric. My name is Caesar. I'm calling from Miami, Florida. Just to try to summarize my situation, you know, I'm a 27 years U.S. Army veteran, retired. In my case, and this was a couple of years ago, when I began my divorce process that lasted, crazy enough, over 5 years, my ex-wife's attorney tried to use my diagnosis of PTSD as making me an unfit father, meaning they, at the beginning, wanted to take every single right that I will have for visitation or even spend time with the kids, making so many false claims about that I had PTSD affected not only my behavior, but that my kids felt unsafe and all that, which was all unfounded. Of course, I fought that because, again, there was no proof of that. If anything, the relationship that I have with my children is amazing and all that. And even the people around us, they couldn't even believe that my ex-wife and her attorney tried to push that through the court system, trying to make me seem as an unfit father just because I'm a combat vet. And yes, I do suffer from PTSD, but that does not affect my ability to be a good father. At the end result, at least I was able to have shared custody. So I have 50-50 custody of my children. My children and I are super happy, and we never had issues. And I always have seek help with my PTSD anyway. I see therapy, just about every week and all that because I want to be a better father, and I don't want ever to this affect me, which it has never affected me or my ability to be a father. But again, it was just disgusting that they were trying to use my service against me and trying to use that as saying that I was not a fit parent. Thank you for what you do, and good luck in all your endeavors.
Hey, Caesar, man, thank you, brother. This is my problem with the way our government treats the veterans. His service and the trauma that he faced in the service is used against him. You can go lead our country in war, but you can't lead your family back at home. Because even then, nobody's off the table when it comes to this family court stuff. Not even our veterans, not even the ones that had that sacrifice. As I was speaking to the veterans the other day, they let me know, like, even in the service, if they're suffering from the PTSD or they got something on their mind and they want to get cognitive behavioral therapy like CBT and go talk to a counselor, that can be used against them, or they could be pulled out of their service. All right. Now here, if I admit I got PTSD or if I go to get therapy, we can keep your kids away from you. Shouldn't that be something that if the VA or our government is saying, hey, looks like these guys got a problem and it stems from what we put him through overseas, let's get him some help, because the one thing he is going to need more than anything, especially to get through this life, is going to be his family, right? This guy is going to need his family. So if there is a problem, let's address it. In the family courts, what happens if there's any weaknesses, anything in your past, anything that they can use against you at all, it is used against you in every way imaginable. Because when you go to family court, it is about throwing trash. It's about making that person across from you look like they are the worst person on the face of this earth. They don't need anything to do with the kids because I'm the better parent. Why can't we go into the family courts viewing both parents as just as important, as equal, and saying, you know what, before we start out with this mudslinging, can you tell me something good that other person does? As much as it upsets me, my own personal situation, I want you to look at what I did the other day. The kids are going to be fed. Their clothes are going to be clean. They're going to take care of them in that way. I don't agree with anything else. I have no reason to go and do that because everything said about me is trash. But why doesn't the courts promote getting along and finding out the good things about each parent? No, let's pay these attorneys. Let's get in front of the judge and let's sling the mud as hard as we can because it's a winner take all scenario. Anytime you get this winner take all scenario in these family courts, the kids are losing. And the fact that the courts make money off of that, controversy and conflict creates cash in that system. They need the controversy because it creates conflict, and the conflict creates billable hours, and then that makes cash. That is the sad reality about what keeps these family courts rolling. And I think that is a common sense message that if we took that to the forefront, most people would agree. The ones that are going to fight back the hardest are the ones that benefit off of that winner take all scenario. When we're talking about the maternal filicide, like I was talking about earlier, what does it say? that there is a parent that says, if I have to give custody over to the dad, I'm taking out myself and taking out the kid, because that's what we are seeing. This is a person that is dead set on that child not going anywhere because they crave the control. The problem with your system, where it is broken, even though we say it's working exactly as designed, the problem where it is failing these kids more than anybody is many times the ones that have those type of issues. And listen, if somebody's got mental health issues, they're not going to be able to come on here and say, this is my problem. I know I need to get better about it. I've got help. Look at these veterans. They'll say, I've got PTSD. I've got trauma. I need help. But taking away my kids, you expect that to get better? Didn't I just go bust my ass and sacrifice all these years to fight for this country? And you want to take away the one thing that I have to come back to after I've done my service? That's what they do, man. The person that has those mental health issues most of the time will never be able to admit to you. And the sad thing is, because they create conflict, that is usually the one who has the control. When you have a mother that will use the kid as a way to get their thing. Look, my child was used as a way to get to talk about a failed relationship. That relationship's done. It's gone. I want to know about my kid. And I empathize with these guys because I know you go through the same thing. And listen to the shame that'll be put on them. Hey, man, can I come and see my kid? Do they need anything? Can I talk to them? You have to go to a person that can just completely say no. And we see also when you go to court to take it because there's more conflict, they are in contempt. I'm not getting my time. I'm not getting my telephone calls. What is done about it? What is done about it? We as a movement, we as fathers, I'm not trying to put this on your shoulders, guys, but it's got to be said. We have failed in many ways by allowing that conversation to be, just completely pressed down. I was reading, Warren Farrell sent me something about his biography yesterday, and I got to read through it and see the challenges that he went through for speaking up for men. Dude, he had some major contacts everywhere he went as a feminist. He had every media organization you could imagine people wanting to interview him. The second that he started talking about the myth of male power or the liberated man, nobody wanted to talk to him. He would get kicked off of shows when there would be deals. I can't wait for you guys to see some of that. We're going to do some stuff on that sometime soon. But anytime he would speak about men's issues, even the feminists, what the feminists would do, they would want to invite him on a show with some of the world's renowned feminists. And Warren would openly say, I want to debate you with research. They would tell these places, if you have that man on the show, we will make sure you are blackballed and that people never come on your show again. They wouldn't debate him. And this is a guy that started out as a feminist. And he's saying, look, I sat there spreading the news about feminism for so long. And one of the things that the feminists say is that men need to speak up. They need to speak up. However, the same ones that are saying men need to speak up are the ones that will cancel them when they do. Why are men isolating? Why don't they talk? Because every time they say something, it's used against them. Imagine telling a father that's going up against one of these situations where this filicide ends up happening, that his emotions was out of control. It could be domestic violence, lies, the money, financially broken or whatever. And he's in there like, Judge, man, can't you see what's going on? Imagine that being used against you because you're human and you have emotions attached from it. And you're looking at this from the outside saying, who in the world should have to be paying and proving this craziness? Your emotions will be used against you. That's what they do. Why aren't men speaking up? Men don't speak. It's toxic masculinity. No, it's toxic feminism. And it's the way the world treats them when they do speak. If you think that it's not bad, you're mistaken. Because listen, that's a veteran that just called in. That's somebody that sacrificed his time away from his home to go and fight for this country. And he is being treated like pure trash. And for all of the politicians that want to say Happy Veterans Day or Memorial Day and thank them for their service and everything, you failed them every time you turn around, guys. You do. Imagine trauma. I'm not even allowed to go and get help, because if I go and get help, that's going to be used against me. It's like anything that you're dealing with, if you're a man, you just have to suppress it. Toxic masculinity. It's a toxic society against masculinity is what it is. They're not being quiet because they don't want to speak. They're being quiet because of the way you treat them every time their mouth opens. They're being quiet because of the way you treat them every time they walk into that courthouse. And because he is a male, he is already at a disadvantage. They are quiet because they have been used as paychecks. You look at them as dollar signs. A guy is looked at as a provider. Look, if you're a mom, you've got a couple of different options. You can stay single. If you're getting the support and stuff, you can be the homemaker, or you can go out and work. What is your options if you are a man? You work. You work. So why is it that we've seen the other side, more the caretaker or the parent? Because men have not been gave the chance. Fathers are not gave the chance. And if you look at the research, when there is kids that get to grow up with their father, and they've got that structure and discipline and that man speaking those life lessons into them, look at how well they do. That was one of the conversations, again, on these shows. The feminists, they wanted to keep it silent. Yep, that's some thoughts. Let me get on to the next voicemail, guys. Keep them coming. 762-441-0281.
My name is Greg. I'm from Chicago, Illinois. Going through a divorce. My ex-wife to be withheld my children for 7 months because her lawyer said so. There was no paperwork stating that they could not be around me or see me. It took me getting a guardian ad litem to get my kids about 8 months later. And then when that happened, my ex and her attorney decided to say that I was abusing my kids in an effort to keep me from seeing them some more. Well, that failed. Instead, I got supervision. I'm sorry. I'll have to do this another day.
Dude, don't walk away from it. You hear that, guys? They can't even get their story out. Can we encourage that father to call back in and get out his story? You don't have to say names. You don't have to do any of that. But this is exactly what I was just talking about. Men are afraid to speak because they're afraid of how it's going to be used against them. He's hurting. But guess what? A man can't show that emotion. When he shows he's emotional and that he cares, that is used against him, especially the men who have been blue-pilled, right? It will be used against him. It's looked at as a sign of weakness. Here is somebody that made it that far, got out the first couple of sentences and had to pull back. I encourage you, call back. I'll get that voicemail and we'll play it. If you need some time, guys, again, that is what that is for tomorrow. Get on that Substack. Join us. Get in that group chat. I'm going to make sure it does not get broadcasting. Nothing leaves that meeting. I want you to be able to get this off of your chest. I can tell you, just me being able to talk with you guys, and it sucks because I don't want to do it in a public setting, but just being able to talk to you, how much weight was lifted off of my shoulders to hear people say, dude, I recognize that a mile away. That was what I went through. And I knew you guys would relate, but people want to use men's voices against them, and they've done a damn good job at it. Don't be afraid to talk, guys. If there's one lesson that you can take away from this, please, I heard you. Your pain is justified. Nobody's going to judge you here. They want to help you. They want to help you. Again, I want to see this movement heal. We got a lot of broken and damaged fathers that are coming here. And there is enough discouragement in the world. It doesn't matter where you go on social media, where you go out in society. There's always going to be that person there to criticize somebody that might already be down on their life and just trying to hang on. Make sure that when they come here, we provide that encouragement. And let me say something else to the moms out there that understand this too. I'm so glad you're here and you have very loud voices behind this. Nothing we're doing here is to be one-sided. It is to say that there is an inequality. And if we can get equality, we can speak like there's equality, right? It's not trying to say we are the victims. It's trying to say, look at what's going on. You just have to report the facts. We need to be making sure that we are welcoming everybody, encouraging. And as I would say, again, if there's somebody there on the other side of this screen that maybe you don't understand something, or maybe you disagree with it, can we talk? Can we talk in a way that actually creates change, that actually provides conversation without all of the other trash that we're seeing in the world right now? I'm telling you, there is people watching right now that need that encouragement. I'm encouraging you to speak up. It's not easy. Trust me, I know it's not easy, but after you do it a few times, you'll be shocked at how much better you'll feel. Women can't hear what men don't say. I told Warren that I'm stealing that one from him. He actually wrote a book called that. But women can't hear what men don't say. If you don't speak up, men, nobody knows there's a problem. And then when you've got the narrative in the mainstream crap coming out and it's always demonizing the man and the men don't have that voice to speak back, guess what happens? We just keep getting pushed further and further and further down. I don't want to see that happen anymore. Okay? Let's heal. This movement can heal together. Let me keep going with these voicemails. 762-441-0281. I would highly encourage you. Get back in there, dude. If you can't get back in there now, get in there. Get in there and get in these support groups. I would love to see a huge following over there doing these support chats. If I got to make 2 or 3 of them because we run out of people, amazing. Amazing. I'm even talking to some really good men's rights guys that I think can provide a lot of comfort and relief to some of these guys and help bring out the conversations to the person that's got it on the tip of their tongue, similar to this gentleman, and just needs to have that safe place. I want to create resources for us. And if everybody gets in here and we do a little bit, we can do a lot. All right. All right. 762-441-0281.
Hi, my name is Jason from Minnesota. In context to being afraid at exchanges, circumstances in my case were we were doing an exchange, and that day the mother was served the papers for custody. She showed up late to the exchange, and I could just tell through her body and just how she was, the energy that she was giving off, that I knew that there was something different about this exchange. I backed into my driveway. She stood at a soldier's pose at the end of my driveway and started coming to my vehicle when I hadn't even got out of it, and started peering through the glass, just really felt like she was violating my space. She walked around the vehicle, and on the other side of that vehicle there was very little room in order for me to get my son out of the car at that time, because of the bushes and the overgrowth. So if I were to get out of my car and get my son out of the car, it would have been a really tight situation. So what happened is I pulled out of the driveway, and she comes running after my vehicle. My neighbor saw the whole thing, and I got my son out of the car. I handed her my son, and she didn't take our child at the time, and she like blew right through me like I wasn't even there. And I was like, what are you doing? So she actually went through my vehicle, opened up my doors of my vehicle, stole my car seat out of my car, put it in her trunk. I called the cops. I asked the cops, I go, can I get my car seat back? She says it's hers. And from there on, that's where everything was real for me in my experience, is that I spoke to the officer in that situation, and he whispered in my ear, he goes, I'm not going to say nothing or do anything because it would affect her parenting time. And I was blown away. Hi, my name's Jason from Minnesota.
Hey, Jason. Some of the hardest calls to get. Let's go behind the curtains. These custody exchange situations and the murders was something that was kind of not even on the radar until the murder of John Mass. Once that happened, it just started going crazy. And it's another thing, similar to the maternal filicide. I think the maternal filicide gets reported on a little bit more, but custody exchange murders are crazy right now. Where do you see people reporting on it? And because we was one of the ones that started reporting on it with John, I started getting a ton of these callers and people messaging. We still get them. My problem. What do I tell them? You guys can chip in. What do I tell them? One, I'm not an attorney. I can't offer you legal advice. Nothing on this show is me representing you in any way. But I'll give you my thoughts on it. I'll give you my opinions on it. The only thing I know that's effective, and it is just going to be completely disregarded, looked at as making the guys, the deadbeats, even more, is if they feel like that's what's going to happen at an exchange is not to go. The cases where Glenn Terry, if you don't go and get my son right now, she's going to kill him. Nobody listened. What if he would have got his son and took off? I'm not saying for any of you guys to do that, but I'm saying he told him what was going to happen. Nobody did anything, and then it happened. And he's looking at me, Eric, if I would have just got my son and took off, would he still be alive? Jonathan Vanderhagen, he told him, this is what I feel is going to happen. What if Jonathan would have just got his kid and took off? They go through the system, and these are the results. Now, if you're a person that's feeling threatened, like this is something that's going to happen in a custody exchange, well, why do you feel that's going to happen? Well, she's standing there. She's opening the doors. She's taking stuff. I've had threats and stuff like that. Nobody listens to these guys until they're dead. And even then, they don't listen that great. I believe 100% John Mass knew something like that could have happened. And I believe a lot of these fathers knew something was going to happen. But this is what the system tells them to do. Even in these cases with the filicide. How many unnecessary deaths got to happen before we say we need to be proactive and not reactive? Because if somebody loses a parent or they lose a kid, there is nothing you're going to be able to do in that justice system to give justice to that family or that parent. Nothing. Your reaction is very meaningless at that point in time, except to make sure that there is some action taken against that person. Listen, those families, those kids, those dads, they want their family. They don't want justice after something happens. And if you'd listen to the guys, if you'd clean up the system, if you get some consequences in there, you could clean this up. The statistics are there. Look, I am a podcast. I didn't have a team of researchers or people that are going and gathering all this for me. I went this morning, did my research myself, and find that 500 on average maternal filicides per year, while I'm seeing stats trying to make it look like it's a men's situation. No. And I would dare say, I guarantee you a lot of that happens with men is people that went through the system. They spent every dollar they had and they said, I had no other options. Guys, that's not an option. I don't want you to do that. But I believe that is where a lot of this is stemming from. There is no justice to be found. Nobody's listening to me. I'm going to take matters into my own hands. No, don't do that, guys. I wish I had better options for you. I do not feel like there is justice in the system. It feels like you're gambling with your kids. You're playing a hand of poker. Well, this guy did good. Maybe I can. There's just too many of these stories going on a daily basis to believe that the system is operating the way it should be. And the fact that there's all these failures when it comes to family court, CPS, child support system, all these failures, yet you're making record-breaking money. How are you profiting so much money on these failures? There's blood attached to that money. You understand? There is. Here we go. Another father saying, I don't feel safe going to pick my children up. What does he do? What does he do? I would tell you, brother, again, I'm not an attorney. I'm just going to give you the best I can. See if you can schedule pickups at school if the child's old enough, or daycare, so that you do not have to come in contact with her. Limit the contact. There's the other part of it. If you got somebody that's abusive, that makes allegations, that becomes toxic every time you try to reach out, if you stop reaching out to them, you're not trying. When you reach out to them, you get gaslit, you get demeaned, and then the system takes up for them. At some point, the guys say, I can't do this anymore. If there is a guy that's did everything he can and the system's not listening to him and he says, I can't do this anymore, that is not a deadbeat. That is a dead end, because you have nothing there to correct that system. Listen, a guy going for his kids, the health and safety of himself and his children, should not have a price tag on it. That should not be something that has to be bought. The safety and the family, that should not have to be bought. But I don't see it going away anytime soon, guys. Anytime soon. All right, let's keep it going. I got my last voicemail for the day, 762-441-0281.
My name is Stephen Banks. I'm from Waterbury, Connecticut. My issue was with the court is they heard that I was a veteran with PTSD, and the lady from the court said because I have PTSD and I was a veteran that I wasn't allowed to see my kids by myself. Ain't that some stuff? My name is Stephen Banks. I'm from Waterbury, Connecticut.
That was correct. PTSD. He's not allowed to see his kid by himself. Dude, I think, again, sometimes in these cases, the kid can be used as a way to keep you tangled, right? You guys saw it the other day. I'm this mean, abusive manipulated and everything guy. I'm good for nothing. But if my child wants to stay at my house, they can, as long as they get to stay too. Or I can come and see my kid as long as I go to their house and sit there with them. Even X, he can go see my son can go see his grandparents out of town with his dad only if I go along. These are people that use that kids. It's a pawn. It is a pawn to keep you roped into that conversation. This supervised visitation stuff, man. I mean, it's becoming too common for you vets with that PTSD. I have a problem like with the whole narcissist thing now, because everybody in the world is a narcissist. And if you go to the narcissist, the alienator, they will call everybody else narcissist. It's became that buzzword. Well, that's no different for the veterans going through PTSD. If you're a veteran, we just automatically assume you got PTSD. Well, so maybe some of these guys didn't even see no action, over there. Do we just have to say because they was in our military that they've got PTSD? They're labeled as monsters. They really are. We're going to thank them twice a year on these holidays, but the rest of the year, you're a trained killer and you're no good in society. They have to come over here and even fight for jobs, man. They're having to fight for their own damn family. They already fought for all of our families. Oh, here's the thing. You guys are going to have to embrace that suck. Don't let it get you down. Yeah, I learned that. Embrace that suck. Don't let it get you down. But at the same time, man, I don't know. We need a veteran dad talk branch. I'm going to find a guy to help lead it. I want to make sure to get that in there. Automatically, you're a veteran. You got PTSD. People have learned that language, and it just comes with the territory, right? You're a veteran. You got PTSD. The false allegations in court. Sucks, dude. I wish I have better answers, for some of you guys sometimes. Like I said, the honesty went to the legislation. You'll find some every once in a while that care, but you need the majority to do something. They are just as tangled up in it as a lot of the attorneys and the family law judges. And if you speak up about it, they'll try to cancel you in every single way because they don't want the message getting out there. Go back again. Why should your relationship with your child have to be bought? Something I've been asking myself for going on about 5 years now. If a man is getting abused, where does he have to go? If a man wants to see his kid, but he doesn't want to see her, where does he go? If there's allegations that are happening, where does he go? If I'm a veteran and I'm having family court issues, where do I go? Is there resources for that? Maybe my relationship broke up while I was overseas. Maybe there was another soldier taking care of the home front. You know what I mean? What resources do we have for them? I don't see it. And I don't know that we're going to get any answers to that anytime soon, guys. Because the VA is federal. They won't step up as my custodian of records to represent me. Dude, the VA, again, father passed away there, kidney stone. How often is it that you hear of people passing away with a kidney stone? That's a sore spot with me, man. Sean said they finally passed laws saying that child support can't take money from veterans out of their veterans' pay. From what I understand, maybe it's the retirement. I don't know about that, man. I don't. But I know that's played into something like some of these guys, they'll get disability. And when they get the disability and then they make their way into family court, like half of their pay get taken from them. Now I'm a disabled vet. Over half of my pay is gone, and nobody's going to want to hire me because I got a disability and I'm a veteran. It sucks. Sucks, man. All right, guys, I got to get it on out of here. I hope you enjoyed today's episode of Dad Talk. I don't know that we enjoy it, right? I'm going to have to start getting some stuff in here besides family law, because I would like to have episodes I enjoy as well. Make sure to get in there to that Substack if you want to go into that yearly meeting and listen. I'm going to be very clear about this. This isn't a way to get in there with me and say I need to get on the podcast or to say this is what needs to happen or anything. This is a men's group where they are coming to vent and they need encouragement. Okay? Don't use it as that. I get tired. I mean, like, if you guys could see how the resources get used sometimes, even the voicemail line, like the people that are managing it, people are using it, trying to get on the show or to get in touch with me. That's not what that is for. That is for these guys to get their voices out. And it's a way that I can get more of those voices out. Stop demanding everything to be about you sometimes. There is the good ones, and then there is the ones that say, you got to do what I want you to do. I don't do what you want me to do. I do what I feel led to do. Okay? And I want to make sure, like I said, when this comes out tomorrow, that we have the guys in here and we give them a safe space. That's what it's about. That's what it's being created for. Nothing else. Nothing more, nothing else. All right? Love you guys. I will see you tomorrow. Again, you like to support the show down there at the bottom. Dad Talk Today, no spaces. Cash App, Venmo, Patreon. Get over there to that Substack, guys. dadtalktoday.substack.com. And I'm looking forward to being in that meeting with you guys tomorrow. See ya. Hey everybody, Eric Carroll here. Thank you for tuning in to another exciting episode of Dad Talk Today. While we fight for you, we would ask for you to please help fight for us. Like, subscribe to our channel, and ring that bell so you get notifications every time we go live. There's also Super Chats, patreon.com/dadtalktoday, and other ways you can support our channel. Thank you for being here, and we will